Hi folks, welcome to my Bit Retro Journal. I'm playing a chess game on my Timex Sinclair 1000. This is the Tim Hartnell basic chess game that I programmed in a long time ago on my, actually my original ZX81. And I remember it wasn't actually the most pleasant thing to use this keyboard to try to type in a really long program, because if you actually if you list this is a pretty long program. If I go list, this is pages upon pages of code that you had to list. Yeah, I don't know how many lines it is, but yeah, here you go. But yeah, and these were all increments of 5 or even in 2s or whatnot. So it was a relatively long program. And again, I typed this in probably in 1984, 83, probably 83. As a teenager in 1983, 84, I actually ended up building my own custom case for it, which is what I want to talk about today. So I have it. I got it out of mothball. So here it is. It's 2 pencil boxes with a keyboard that I actually had to build myself, because it actually, other than the space key, which instead of being here, actually it's still here. You can, if you look at the keyboard here, the space key is here, but it's also wired here. And then I have an alpha lock that does a shift for me. So in other words, these two things are tied together. But yeah, so I wanted to kind of showcase this on my channel today, kind of open it up and see what I did, because the keyboard I actually had to remount myself. I think I took the keys out of, I don't know what kind of keyboard it was. It was a broken system. And actually, I just got the keyboard. I don't even know where I got the keyboard from, but maybe it was an old VT100 terminal. Again, if these keycaps look familiar, you'll see it more when I open it up. Maybe you can tell me what this came from. But yeah, so I ended up rewiring my own keyboard and soldering it onto the board. And then I took 2 pencil boxes to actually create a case out of it. And you can see, if I look on the side, it has the connectors. In the back, it has for the expansion port, and I even added I don't recall what this is for. Yeah, so I have one of them is for an external speaker, because there's an internal speaker, so I don't know what this is for. So yeah, so let's take it apart and see what's in here. I might change the camera angle to be more top view to give a better look at it. So let me do that. All right, time to take it apart. By the way, before I do that, I also discovered, so I have my original manual, so which is the ZX81 programming guide. That's what came with it. That's how I learned how to code. And then I also have this nice little thing, which is a cool little pamphlet that gives you all of the keywords and the ASCII table for that and everything. So this is a very handy little quick reference guide. I don't even know where I got it from, but yeah, it's pretty cool. So if you recall who sold those, it doesn't really, reference card for the ZX80, ZX81, doesn't say who published it. Wait. Published by Nanos Systems Corp, Speedway, Indiana. Yeah, anyway. All right, but I want to take this apart. So the way this is put together is it has, so what I did here is I have little, so I took the cutout in the middle here and I created 2 little tabs. So one is screwed in here, I think, with a bolt, and one is just screwed in here just through the plastic of that. So there's these tabs, and they're on 4 sides. So that's all I have to do is unscrew them with a just a regular old screwdriver. So let's do that. So it shouldn't require too much power to. There we go. Yeah. So these will come off pretty easily. And one is here. What I want, so it's really easy. So it wasn't, yeah. But so it's going into plastic basically. You'll see when I lift it up what it looks like. So let me turn this around. The other thing I will try to do is see if I did try to do it on this TV, and it doesn't have a back porch signal, so all you get is a really dark picture. But I do have a CRT TV, so I'll try to plug it into that to see if I can get a picture out of this. And this is a ZX81, so this only has 1K of memory, whereas this has 2K of memory. But I bought a RAM pack pretty soon thereafter, so I knew that I couldn't live with that. I don't recall what these screws. So this one actually is not. Probably stripped because it's not really coming out. Here we go. I don't know what these screws are for. Maybe probably to hold the keyboard in, but it's mounted on. I don't think it's mounted on plastic. It's mounted on. It's a cardboard mount. So all right. So let's open it up to see what we got. Yeah, here you go. You can see that I have these are the tabs that so on this side they have yeah. So they're bolted together here, so you can't actually just unscrew them. And then on this side you have it's just cardboard. And you can see that I have a circuit board right here with all the cabling that is, I think I must have, no, I didn't realize, so I guess I should be able to remove, I don't know where I got these from, but it looks like I created my own. But here's the original circuit board. I have, oh, this is an amplifier. I put an amp in here that I built myself to basically amp up the audio of anything that would come out of it. So this is just a little speaker. I don't understand why I have, so there's a potentiometer in here. So this turns on. Where is this getting power? This is getting power. Oh, I'm actually getting power 9 volts from the. I was very ingenious. Oh, so this is actually bolted on the bottom here as well. So there's 2 screws on the bottom, and this is getting power. But where is it? So, oh no, this is just the audio. But where is the? Oh, I see. I think this is, it would have to get powered externally. That's what happened. So you could power this externally and then get audio, or so to amplify it, you had to add an external power, which is what this is. And this is what power is. So this turns the power on and off. And then this is the audio out. That would allow you to put earphones on or hear what's, so basically this was capturing so this is grabbing the audio, the ear from, which is the middle one, from, is it the ear or what's going out? I guess that's the question to answer. I don't want to break this, obviously. What was my thinking as a kid? No, I actually think that, I see. So it's not the ear, it's the mic. So it's what's coming, what's going out of the computer. So this is going to the mic. So I could hear internal speaker, in case I didn't have a TV, I could hear what this was saving out. Or I could then also have this go to a earphone, and then I could amp it. So I had this little amp board with, so you could, I think what I used is a 9-volt battery. So I had a little, I don't have it anymore, but I think it was just a 9-volt battery with a power, and it used, unfortunately, I used the same, I used the same jack for everything, which is, of course, we now think of this as horrible because, 9-volt, if you plug it into these things, I actually don't know what would happen. But, and you can see I created my own little heatsink using aluminum foil because I didn't have that heatsink anymore. And so, how can I, so this is a bit, so if I were to open this up, just to show you what the board looks like. So what I have in here, so let me see if I can't open this up, just to show you how I built the board. All right, let's give that a try. So what I need to do is see if I can. Yeah, this might require a little bit more disassembly. Because what I need is to get a pair of pliers to see if I can hold this, then remove this, and this will come out. And what you'll see is another piece of cardboard that I actually then wired the keyboard membrane to, and then this is sort of my header board. So it's pretty cool and pretty advanced. But let me do that. So what was required was just a bigger screwdriver, and it turns out that I got both the screws off. That I must have glued these two washers or nut, I guess, on there because they actually are still hanging on there. So if I sort of slowly peel this away, and I just want to be careful that I don't break anything because I just want to put it back together, you'll see that underneath is the actual keyboard, which I'm trying to keep in one piece. Let me move this in this direction, and you can see that it's taped up. So I'm not sure why I taped it up, but basically this is on a piece of cardboard, probably thinner than this cardboard, and then I ran similar. These are like telephone wires, and I ran them. So I made holes for the switches, and then pushed the switches through, and then I wired up the switches with the diagram that was the ZX81s. And then I had all those come up here to this little breadboard that then just bridged to these so that I would have one single place to come by. So that was pretty cool. I think one of the washers or nuts finally came out. So I guess it wasn't glued in, but that's okay. Yeah. So, and then I think I must have taped it with, this is masking tape. You can see the masking tape is actually browned over time because it's actually white under here. So I just covered it with masking tape to keep it nice and firm. So I basically created my own membrane in some sense. But then that was the whole thing that held it together. So yeah, I was pretty, I mean, again, this was as a teenager in 1984. I came up with this design and put it together, all with, again, these are just, you can still get these in a drugstore. These are just pencil boxes. And I just did 2 pencil boxes, and, I think I definitely cut this one because it wasn't as fat. I don't know if this is the original thickness or I think there might be thicker, so I had to cut both of them and then just use the excess material to build this box. So yeah, that was my attempt at creating my own case, and Still works to this day, and I just find it interesting that I knew I had built a, I don't know what I did. I don't know what's going on here. I must have run out of, I didn't use any electrical tape. I just sort of covered it in paper, which I guess works. I mean, this is just a regular old speaker that's sitting there, and it was never even, I didn't have a glue stick. I assume they had glue sticks in 1984, but I didn't have one. So I just simplified it as best as I could. I don't know where the, you can see that the way I did the mountings, I actually used cardboard here and here as well. It's not shorted. So I'm trying to figure out where the nut fell down. Somewhere, and I can't see it at the moment, so I gotta find it. Maybe did it go down? Yeah, you can see where this is hooked up to this heatsink, to this voltage regulator. But where did my nut go? I don't see it, but I heard it fall down because it was right here. But yeah, so my own little homemade case for the ZX81, and so it's kind of interesting that this has a nice ceramic. This is the ULA, right? 1K. Or is that the ROM? This might be the ROM. All right, so that's the Z80. Is this the memory and this is the ROM? I thought this was the memory though, so I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what issue board this is. I'm gonna have to shake this out anyway. So if I try to put this back together, where is my? Oh, there it is. That's where it went. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I should piece this back together, and it shouldn't be actually too hard. All I have to do is, so the other cool thing is these are self-tightening. I didn't actually even have to apply pressure to, let's see if this will go back in the way it's designed. No, it's not. Here it is. Thought I saw it. So this is going to be a little dicey here because oh, I actually got it finally. So you can see that it self-tightens because the well, you might not be able to see this, but the nut actually rests on this, and so it actually ends up being a self-tightening. So yeah, I was actually pretty ingenious as a teenager at that age, doing electronic stuff on my own. Now all I had is a soldering iron. I didn't have anything fancy. In fact, I still think I have my soldering iron. You've seen it on the channel that I use to do most of my work. Oh yeah, it's not. I think I just need to hold it, get it started, and then. But yeah, designed this all on my own, and here we go. This is actually coming together nicely. Maybe I don't have to do it off camera. Yeah. So this will actually do that, and then I can put this back together like that. Oopsie. Yeah, I just want to get. There we go. So this will fit. This will fit together nicely here. There we go. And in the back as well, because these cables you just don't want. There we go. And then these just need to be tightened. And I think I had them in such a way that if they lined up, I had a little bit of OCD, but so I had these line up, and so then I think this was the back. So these are the back screws. And I believe these just went in nicely. I'm using these fine screws because it prevents you from stripping anything. There we go. So I know that, yeah. So this is actually, I had them all lined up so that all the screws went in the same direction. So yeah, a little bit of OCD on my part, but that's all right. Or actually, as I like to say, CDO. You know what CDO is? That's OCD spelled alphabetically the way it should be. It's a little joke that I sometimes pull on my students. I think this one is just going to spin. Yeah. That one has, well, it'll hold it in, but I don't think it's catching anymore. But I think I knew that was stripped a long time ago. So, oops, I don't think this is going to... well, let's leave it that way. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it doesn't fall out, which it's not falling out here. And then, of course, the back pieces, or the front, we have this one. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool design for a teenager to come up with their own... you know, this is before, again, 1984. This is before, that's actually when the QL came out. This is before you had 3D printers available to the masses. Certainly a teenager wasn't going to have a desoldering station. And this actually lines up perfectly here as well. So yeah, these, the grooves in this are nicely done so to line up. So the last thing I want to show you is just to boot it up. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll work on this. I can certainly just demonstrate this quickly for you if you're interested. Yeah, so that's back together. All right. So I don't believe so all I really have to do here is take, let's unplug this, is to take this out and just run it here. And you'll see what's going to happen, and then just take this from here and just plug it in here. And you'll see that, yeah, so it's giving a picture. It's just that you can see that no signal, and this is providing a signal. But the signal is, there it is. Well, I don't think that was actually promising. All right, let's try it again. Oh, you can't actually see what I'm doing here, sorry. Let's show you. So one more time. But there's no cursor. But the last time I tried this, it just wasn't giving a backport signal. I don't think it's broken. I don't think it can. All right, one more time. Yeah, I think when it... So that suggests that there is some fault in it. But I know last time I tried it, it just wasn't... certainly it's the right voltage. Let's do it one more time. Ready, here we go. I don't think I'm getting a cursor. One other thing to try is just to demonstrate that this actually can host a RAM pack, and the way that would have looked is in its expansion pack is actually right in the middle like that, and it actually made much better contact so that you didn't have oh, there's your cursor. So that is a weak signal, but can you see the cursor? Yeah. So it actually does have a good backport signal. I thought it didn't. Oh, it just crashed. And there it is. So can we do print? No. So something's going on. I might have to debug this. Yep, so actually I finally got it to boot and run and load my Elite game. And so the problem that we were having was that if you look at, you can see that there was lots of dirt on the edge connector in the back. So I got that to work. There's still a problem with that. Oops. In that when it overheats, it starts overheating pretty quickly, and so you can see now the game should actually start. There we go. And I should be able to fire, which I think is the F button. Fire. There we go. But it's not going to hold its content for very long, because I think things start overheating in that. And of course, if I don't have the RAM pack, it doesn't. The other thing I wanted to show you on this actually is, let me rearrange the camera a bit. You can see that the keyboard not only has the layout, but it also has the key. And where I got those is from, I think it was an advert for a keyboard for the ZX81, because it has, it's not the actual ZX81 printings, but it's it has all of the lettering in different colors. And so what I did is it came from a magazine. I took them out, I cut them, glued them on the keys, and then put nail polish over it so that they're nice and they don't rub off. So I did get it booted up. There's an issue if I don't have, again, if I unplug this, if I take the RAM pack out and plug it in, you'll see what happens is I don't get the cursor. In fact, here it's thinking for a very long time, but if I do it a bunch of times, yeah. So there's some issue with my board. Although, again, it works fine with the RAM pack until it gets hot enough to where it starts doing similar. Well, it doesn't do that, but it does some. It starts misbehaving. So if you know what that could be on a ZX81 original ZX81 US version, not TS1000, let me know it, and I will see if I can fix it. But I'll end there. Again, my very first creation as a teenager, not bad, I think, as a case. And yeah, I'll see if I'll do more with it in the future. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.